Hey, what's up? I am Michelle B, and in this video I want to talk about 5 self-care habits that have changed my life. A lot of these are habits that I built in the past year or two. They've made a really big difference to me in that they've reduced anxiety, made me feel better in my body and in my mind. They've shaped me to be a little bit more positive, and they've also pushed me along the path towards where I want to be in my life. I'm gonna dive straight into it with the first habit that I have built, which is working out. I know this seems so basic, but it's a really big deal to me that this is something that I now do on a consistent basis. In clinical studies, regular aerobic exercise has been shown to be as effective as antidepressants in reducing symptoms of mild to moderate depression. When I wasn't working out, I kept on saying, mind and body first. My mental health is a priority to me, but at the same time, I wasn't moving my body on a regular and consistent basis. So I was just in constant conflict with my values, which is a really gross feeling, and I think most people know that. When you're not living in line with your values, you're gonna feel gross and you're gonna feel inauthentic. So in the past, I've had spurts where I would work out consistently, but it would never really last. So I had a period of time where I was running like every single day for a few months. There was a bit there when I was doing like YouTube workouts consistently. I went to classes every week for a little bit there until I stopped going to classes. But for the last 7 or so months, I've been keeping up a regular workout habit, and it feels great. My mental health is something that is incredibly important to me. Being fit in my body is also very important to me because I do have a partner that is a physio, and he regularly reminds me of what you do to your body when you are not working out on a consistent basis, and those long-term effects are not good. I'm in a really nice like regular pattern of working out 3-4 times a week. I'm not like a Fitspo gym person yet by any means, but it has genuinely changed the game for me mental health wise. But I think it's been a really life-changing habit to have built. In one way, it's having the belief in myself that it's something that I can do, and also for my mental health. All it really took was having an accountability partner, which is my sister. We live together. A really simple workout routine that didn't rely on any crazy equipment, and also getting my environment set up so that everything is really easy to access. So there's like little to no friction between me and sitting down on my mat and starting to work out. I did actually create a video on creating an environment that's easier to work out. I talked more about my personal situation. That was in my Reset Your Life challenge. I'll have that linked up here and down below. The second habit is a habit of gratitude. Gratitude is something that I've been practicing for actually a really long time now. I fell off the gratitude bandwagon for a little while when it started to feel like a to-do item to be ticked off. It felt more like a chore rather than like an activity that was bringing me something. Then I listened to Sean Acker, Happiness Advantage, and it got me right onto it again. He talked about all of the amazing things that gratitude can bring you in your life, and he also talked about like a different way of approaching gratitude, which I hadn't really been doing. And by taking his advice on board, it kind of made me feel like my gratitude practice became more meaningful and it was more impactful to me again. So the 2 key changes that I made to my gratitude practice were picking things that I'm grateful for, but within the last 24 hours as opposed to just in general. When I picked at random, I did find myself falling into that pattern that is so easy to fall into, where you just pick like things that you're always grateful for. Like, I am eternally grateful for Luke just being in existence. I am so grateful that I am in like such a loving, beautiful family, that I have this home. But those are things that I can really easily default back to in a gratitude practice over and over again. So forcing yourself to sort of run through the last 24 hours, not only does it make your life seem a little bit more meaningful because you think through those moments again, and they're genuine moments that happened within your day as opposed to things that you're trying to think of in the moment. It makes your last 24 hours even more meaningful to you, and it also allows you to relive that moment that you're grateful for again when you write it down. I've also tried to integrate the why I'm grateful a little bit more into my gratitude practice. So instead of just like, I'm grateful that my boss gave me good feedback on that project, at the end of that, I would just tack on a like, because it made me feel valued and it made me feel like my contributions to my workplace mattered. I find that adding on that why can make a really big difference in a gratitude practice. It forces you to really think about why you're grateful for that moment and just get even deeper into that gratitude moment. They've shown that a regular practice of gratitude, I believe that the study was for 21 days, can turn a low-level pessimist into a low-level optimist. And I always find that when I'm consistently writing out what I'm grateful for, I just notice more of the good things in my life. And I notice really weird things that I may not usually notice or be grateful for, like, wow, it's amazing that this water runs out of this tap and that I have access to that. Or like, I have this device that can literally like smush all these ingredients together and make me this smoothie in a matter of seconds. That's crazy. The next self-care practice is writing affirmations. So I've always been a little bit odd about affirmations, visualization, all of that kind of world. And I think my sort of like prejudice against that world started when I had a teacher in grade 7 that like sat us down and forced us to watch the teacher as she like handed out her business cards. It's just given me like a gross like association with The Secret. I've also just always been a really practical person, and stuff like The Secret just doesn't really vibe with me. I think there's absolutely some basis to it, but I just think it's blown out of proportion. Stick with me if you're a little woo-woo. I think everyone's on a different level when it comes to this kind of stuff. In saying that, if you're all about the law of attraction, The Secret, honestly, if it works for you, that's amazing, and I'm all about it for you. Love that for you. When it comes to affirmations, I have looked into them in the past, and I found some studies that have shown that they can actually be more harmful than helpful. Especially if you're using affirmations and you have low self-esteem, that's when they're the least effective. If you have high self-esteem, then they can be much more effective. That's not to say that they don't work, because they do if you have more confidence in yourself. But on the flip side, it's also been shown that if you make affirmations and you are very confident that you can achieve whatever it is you're visualizing, then your brain can get a false sense of satisfaction, tick that thing off as done in your mind, and then not work as hard to get it. So there's lots of different things to think about when it comes to affirmations. In saying that, if you are at a good place in your life where your self-esteem is at a healthy level, then affirmations and visualizations can absolutely have an impact when they're done in the right way. So I was actually listening to a podcast. It's called Online Marketing Made Easy by Amy Porterfield. And in one of her episodes, Amy talks about one of her friends who was in a mastermind, and one of her affirmations that she would write down on a daily basis was, I make more money than everyone in my mastermind group. And by the end of the year, she made more money than everyone in her mastermind group. And that was a big leap for her. So that was sort of what inspired me to start writing down affirmations. So I write down like 6 affirmations every morning. These are things that really resonate with me, and I write them in my own way. I also try to contrast those affirmations with the current reality. So obstacles that I need to get past, things that I need to overcome, as opposed to just visualizing like the end result. So I've started writing down 6 affirmations every day that really resonate with me, and I can really feel them just like seeping into my life gradually. Like I think about them when I'm making decisions, when I'm choosing how to react to a situation. They're just like slowly making their way into reality. The next self-care habit is life admin days. So this is a little bit of a roundabout self-care habit, but it is self-care nonetheless. Without scheduling in life admin days and taking the time to do those little nagging tasks, I wouldn't have gotten braces on my bottom teeth. I wouldn't have finally gotten my wisdom teeth out. I wouldn't have recently had my blood tested. My car probably wouldn't have gone in for a service, or at the very least I would have procrastinated it until it was too late. Doing those things like booking those appointments, getting those health things taken care of, taking that thing to the tip that's been in your hallway killing you softly for so long. It all contributes to self-care and putting yourself first. This is a relatively new habit for me, so I started it in December. I did my first official life admin day just before the new year in my Reset Your Life challenge. If you want to watch that, I'll link it down below. The amount of things that those days have like pushed me forward and forced me to do is actually pretty astounding. And they're things that I otherwise would have procrastinated, because they're not like the big goal related things or the day-to-day things. They're just those things that like sit to the side that like nag you on occasion, but you never prioritize. And the last self-care habit that I built once again more recently, and that is Instagram and Facebook free time. So I find that if I spend too much time on Instagram, I get caught in a really bad comparison trap. It's partly a personality thing, partly a female thing, partly a culture thing. This year I've made a conscious decision to spend less time on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, I deleted it completely. I almost never access it. I've accessed it a few times to go on Marketplace so that I can sell things while I'm doing a little bit of home changes. And Instagram, I download once or twice a week, usually to upload a photo, and usually I'll hang around for that day, but then I'll delete it for the rest of the week. Obviously, there have been some slip-ups along the way, like any goal, but for the most part, I've stuck to it and it feels really freaking good. I spend less time aimlessly looking at what other people are doing and more time doing the things that bring me joy. I think everyone needs social media free times, whether it's just like a day a week, or you want to go a little bit more extreme like me, delete it completely, or perhaps like every 3 months you spend one of those months off social media. It feels incredibly freeing not to constantly be going on Instagram Instagram and Facebook for no reason. And also it forces you to think about how you spend your time and other ways that you could be spending your time when you're not on social media. If you liked this video, you might like my video where I walk you through one of my self-care days. I will have that linked on the screen and down below. I sort of go through like a bunch of activities I did on my self-care day, and I give you a bunch of ideas for your own activities if you want to plan in a self-care day yourself. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I appreciate you so very much, and I will see you soon.